What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by Danny Code, DCU Penn's finest, Chris Coacher, CB Coacher Boy. We have another great episode for you guys today. This is dropping right before Wolves Nuggets Game 6, so things may age poorly, they may not, but we are getting this out the same day as we are recording it. We're going to be talking about all the series. The Celtics just advanced to their third straight Eastern Conference Finals, sixth in 8 years, sixth for Jaylen Brown, fifth for Jayson Tatum. The Nuggets, they've locked in entirely. They flipped the script in that series. Thunder versus Mavs have been everything I could have asked for personally. A absolute guard duel between Luka and SGA. I've loved it. And Pacers Knicks has been, it's been relatively competitive. I think we can say, yeah, it's been scrappy. It's been physical. We'll talk more about all of these series later on, of course, but I just want to remind you, make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're listening to this on audio platforms, make sure you leave a 5-star like and review to help grow the channel. And honestly, I don't have much more. Oh, besides special announcement, we will be having a guest on next week. Like I say, it's kind of up to Danny if he wants me to say who it is or not. But
we can announce. We can do a little promo. We will having Taylor Jenkins, Memphis Grizzlies head coach.
Yes, we will be having the head coach of the Memphis Grizzlies, Taylor Jenkins, very good friend of Danny's. They've done some work together in the past for UPenn activities. So make sure you guys tune in. That will be dropping next Wednesday. So please, if you ever wanted to know random questions or insight on how Taylor Jenkins feels about something, please tune into that episode. Don't know how much playoff basketball we'll be talking about outside of just, Taylor Jenkins' personal feelings on the matter of certain teams. But again, we will be having Taylor Jenkins on the show, so please tune into that next Wednesday. But enough of the announcements. Danny, get us kicked off with Summits Plummets.
I got 3 summits today. Whoa. First one, I got graduation this weekend. So we're done college. We've done everything.
Snaps.
Number 2 is the Chargers release video. I was talking about this before. If you haven't watched already, the Chargers schedule release video, all-time classic. They might have outdone themselves from last year.
Yeah, and I would say so. People were getting on them because at first they just released a Pop-Tart one. I'm like, dude, they always do a Pop-Tart one and another one. They always do 2, but they got to give you the Pop-Tart one. But they may have to retire it. I think they're getting a little uncreative, but yeah, I would agree. I love their schedule release. The Sims are cool. Harrison Butker's a loser. And Jake Elliott's the best kicker in the league.
They had the George Pickens meme in there.
Yeah, I saw that. And then they had Russell Wilson with Justin Fields coming in and Russell Wilson getting mad. Yeah, that was pretty creative.
And then the third one is that NCAA football has an official release date. Came out this morning, mid-July, and you can get the 3-day early access. So on July 15th, July 15th at midnight is the official release date.
Slip. I'm a personal fan of the cover, actually.
I like it. I love it.
So you have the quarterback of one of the most prestigious schools in the nation. So Quinn Ewers at Texas. You have Donovan Edwards, who is kind of like the last remaining piece of that championship winning team. And those who know he tore up the national championship. And he's going to be the workload for the Michigan team this year. He's going to be one of the best backs in the nation. So, like, it's kind of like a projection, but, like, Donovan Edwards is good. And, of course, you have one of the most electric athletes in college football in Travis Hunter, front and center. To anyone who wants to act like he isn't good because he got torched on the back end of the Stanford game, I'm going to be honest, that's coaching malpractice on Deion to let him go out there right off of, the injury he had and making him play both ways. It was, I don't know, a rare coaching malpractice by Deion Sanders. But nonetheless, he's going to be one of the most prominent players in college football. I'm sorry, Danny, you said you had 3.
That was the 3, yeah.
Oh, it was coaching, you said, schedule release. Oh, and graduation, I forgot. Yes, graduation. I've already did that. So get your money up. But nah, I'm just trolling. I technically haven't graduated yet, but I didn't get my diploma yet. But we can move on. Good way to start. No negatives, but we'll go to Chris next.
You know, I always got some negatives. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. I think I literally have like all summits. My first summit is WNBA focused, of course. The season's popped off, and I see every day on Twitter that people are getting to know new players in the W, and I think that's so cool. I think Arike got a lot of love yesterday because of her game winner she hit. She's been like that. If you like Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, if you like scoring wings, she's your girl. Even though she's like a guard, she's a scoring wing in my eyes. She's a bucket. So seeing that jump off has been really cool. Watching all the debuts for the new girls, Caitlin, Cameron, Angel Reese, all those has been really dope. So seeing that. Also, another summit I think is how the playoffs are shaking out. The teams who are getting out, they're starting to. I mean, this always happens at every playoffs, but just seeing them reevaluate and see what they may have to add or take away for next year. That's always an exciting part for me. It's like the pre-off season, so I'm always excited about that. Yeah, so those are my two summits. Oh, and I'm trying to go to Game 6 on Saturday. I went to. Oh, that's what I should have said. That was my biggest summit was Game 3. I went to Game 3. I went to see Shea v Kyrie, and that was dope. The Thunder ended up losing, and I had on my Shea jersey, so I got heckled a whole lot, which was pretty fun. Because I'm season ticket holder for the Mavs, so I kept saying that to people. They just didn't care. They was like, "Yeah, I don't care. You have on Shea today." So that was probably cool. Taking my girl to a playoff game. It was our first playoff game she's ever been to, so that was dope.
Shout out OKC, man, because those dudes they wear their fans at least they wear the playoff shirts, and
Yes.
that's cool. Like I
That
want to
is.
see the ocean of navy blue or white, whatever it is.
And it was
I
dope with the
need that.
court, like how it looked yesterday, like how they all had on blue, and like just you could see the little orange in their shirts and the little orange on the
Mm-hmm.
court. That was just raw. That was raw. And then they were barking yesterday too. So I was
Yeah,
barking at the Mavs game, and my girl kept asking me, "Why do you keep barking?" I'm like, "Well, that's what they do when they score. That's what all the fans do." And she
that's what they
finally
do.
heard some people 2 rows down. They were barking with me, so that was awesome to be able to bark.
Yeah, the series has been it's been phenomenal. Shea has shown up. Luca's finally starting to get into his own. The knee must be bothering him, but you know my no excuses policy when it comes to injury. You out there, you play. So yeah, I don't know what's up with Kyrie just being extremely passive, but we'll talk about more of that because there's more he's adding to the game. I would probably say my summit is I've graduated. Um, and same with Chris. I'm in the boat of getting to learn new players. Um, Obviously my eyes are on the goats, the goat Asia Wilson, who is getting a fucking shoe, which is way long overdue. Should have got one right out of cop. Hey, I don't know who has someone ever gotten a statue before a signature shoe. How does that happen? But
Insane, insane.
I'm super happy for well deserved. Like no one deserves it more. Um, and I guess my other summit is my JT2s came in. I haven't got to wear them yet because I've been in the crib sick. But hey, very good shoe, very good shoe. Before I even get to test them out, I get to say that. So yeah, I guess we can get into the Celtics Cavs series. Um, I guess really I kind of wanted to start talking about I really want to start talking about the Cavs because the minute that clock hit all zeros, Shams dropped like a bomb of an article, essentially saying like, well, Garland, like it's possible he might stay. Like big city isn't really like on his list. If he stays, Garland has to go. Um, Mobley potentially looking for a trade. Allen. Um, it's all out of whack. And to be quite honest, if you're the Cavs, I hate to go out this way because like you don't even get to know what you looked like. Like Jared
Yeah,
Allen was hurt. Apparently,
it's
Jared Allen didn't want to take a pain needle to play through the ribs, which I don't blame him. I never will. Like if that hurt too much, don't go out there. I'll never blame a player for not playing through injury. It's serious. Uh, and then you got Donovan Mitchell, which a lot of people are speculating is like it's a calf strain. And he didn't play through it. Now you quit. That's what a lot of people seems to be saying. I don't believe that. Calf strain's very serious. And especially you get down 3-1, it's like, do you even risk it? Like, If I pop this Achilles, I'm not even going to play next year. I want to swing it to Chris because he has a lot of, I know, big fan of a lot of players over there. Also doesn't like a lot of players over there. Just what do the Cavs even do this offseason? Like, what are your thoughts?
I think you're the Cavs. First thing you gotta do is evaluate: is Evan Mobley gonna be your center or your power forward? That's what I think. I think that's the first thing you need to do is evaluate that part and then kind of build from there. I think Mobley showed his advantage is when he's at center, just because he's a little quicker than some guys. And at the 4, you're gonna be playing against now in NBA today. You have the Tatums, the Giannis's, the Durant's. I guess his advantage isn't there, so I think you have to figure that out first. I think you have to move on from Donovan Mitchell. In the rate of, it's too risky to see if he's going to sign back or not. And I think you just kind of not cut bait like he's just not worth it, but I think you just make a move. And I think you build with Garland and Mobley. And I think you try to get wing help with Garland and Mobley. I think that's what I think you do. I think that might be with Jared Allen having to be moved. And I think that only works, like I said, if you commit to Mobley being your center. So I think it's just a lot of internal questions they have to answer on, like, what do they want from their best players moving forward? Like, what positions do they want them to play? Because I said this all year. Well, not all year. I said this all playoffs. Darius Garland does not work well with another ball dominant guard. It's never worked. High school, college, that's not how it works. So at the end of the day, you have to figure out, is Garland your guy or are you going to try to make Mitchell your guy? So I think it's just a lot of questions they got to answer. But for one, they have to get real wing help because I love Max Strus. Max Strus is a 2 guard. Isaac Okoro is a 2, unfortunately. So you don't have a real small forward with 2 small guards. It's just not going to work like that when you play against teams with real wings like the Celtics were. So I think there's a lot of questions you got to answer on just what do you want from the guys you have now moving forward.
I like that you mentioned Strus. I think we're all big fans of Strus, even though Strus he gave me some pains over the year, but like that's a guy like I'd like on my team. I like that you mentioned that. And yes, bad enough. You think the Cavs running him at 3 was bad? The Heat had that brother running the 4.
Power forward, yeah.
That was crazy stuff.
Abel Highsmith was power forward with the Heat this year. That was the nastiest thing I've ever seen.
No.
They got away with it until they had to play Aaron Gordon in the finals.
You know who the real power forward is for the Heat?
Who?
LeBron James. LeBron James' running mate back with the Cavs.
Kevin Love?
K-Love.
Yeah, no, he's not, brother.
He was a center, unfortunately.
That brother is more unplayable than Luke Cornett. Swear.
Yeah, he's cooked. He's so cooked.
He's so old. Yeah, he's old.
Yeah, he old as hell, bro.
He was shooting pretty good against the Sixers in the playing game, though.
His 37 looks way different than Al Horford's 37. I swear. Like they're both 37, but I promise you, Al Horford's
it's
like
because Al always been a solid, not even solid. I mean, Al was one of the best interior defenders in the league, and he's just aging gracefully as they play him less and less and less. I think like
in my mind, I feel like Al Horford and Zach Randolph are the same age in my mind.
That's crazy. Come on.
I think they're probably maybe only like 4 years apart. Let me see.
There's no way.
Randolph is 42. Al Horford.
Oh yeah, see, I knew it was close. Horford about to be 38. So yeah,
37. Yeah, about 38.
Dude,
yeah.
So I'm not that far off.
Damn, I didn't know they were that close. I mean, it makes sense.
Randolph just seems like a super duper old head. That's all.
I know, but in my mind, I just grouped them together.
I mean, Al's longevity needs to be respected, and I think something that Brook Lopez gets a lot of credit for that I don't think Horford gets a lot of as much credit as Brook Lopez does is his ability. He completely changed his game. His ability to now shoot threes and on certain nights, like last night, he can win you a game with his shooting. Of course, tagged along with Tatum going for 25 or Brown going for 30, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I would agree with everything you said. When it comes to the Cavs, they kind of have a similar situation with Atlanta when you have 2 ball dominant guards. And it's not like in Atlanta. See, the thing with Atlanta is, yeah, they're both producing, but they're not winning. But with the Cavs, it's like, oh, yeah, we're winning, but Garland, you're not producing, and we could probably trade you in for some pretty good pieces. Yeah, the Cavs, number one, find a way to keep Mitchell. Find a way. I know it's unlikely, but that is priority number 1. And I think priority number 2 would be Mobley. Like you said, get him in the center position. I thought he did pretty good offensively this series. Yeah, he's being guarded by Luke Cornett, but that's a 7-2 guy. I'll at least respect it. He was making great decisions out of the pick and roll, doing a good job finishing at the rim. Shot the ball a little bit. I just wish
How
he would
about
trust
Luke
himself to
Cornett,
shoot a
man?
little more.
How about Luke Cornett? He played good ball.
Okay. Good ball is a stretch.
Yo,
Good ball
Peyton
from any center that played this series is a stretch for the Celtics at least.
He tried. But no, Peyton
Oh
Pritchard.
wow. Trying doesn't get us a fucking championship, man.
Well, he won't have to play much longer. Peyton Pritchard though, want to notice him. He is providing the spark the Celtics need in some of these moments. It might not be talked about. It might not show up in the stats sheet as much as he is. The Celtics, it's like I feel like their lead starts to dwindle a little bit. Peyton Pritchard hits a 3. They go back up 10.
Yeah, that's usually there was a moment in game 4. I think the Cavs cut it down to like a 7 or 6 point lead. It was something like that. Early shot clock logo 3 by Peyton Pritchard, cash, and the Celtics just went on a run. I would agree. He's like the perfect ideal spark plug. Not great defensively. I think the Celtics do a pretty good job of hiding him, but if need be, he can hold his ground against fellow guards. Obviously, you don't want him getting guarded by or want him guarding bigs and stuff. But yeah, I like that point. He's better than Tyrese Maxey, and I'm kidding. But if he was on the Wizards, he would average 20.
Yeah, he better than Jordan
yeah.
Poole.
Fact.
Let's not let a year do it, because when Jordan Poole comes back next year, not most improved, but improved from what he was. I want to hear it.
I'm afraid Draymond shook that brain forever.
Draymond's on his way to Cameroon for basketball. He's gonna be doing NBA Africa camps.
CTE Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole is now Jordan Peele. He's making movies now.
To make it even, we need Al Horford to sock Peyton Pritchard to make Pritchard versus Poole a fair argument.
Peyton Pritchard, you're the running back for the Patriots now. Good luck, buddy.
And
Eddie Whitehead mode.
At Oregon, Peyton Pritchard was always a bucket, but I loved Peyton Pritchard at Oregon. And in high school, he was a bucket too. It's just he was small. I'm happy he's getting his love now.
And Sabrina came up together in Oregon. They were the face of Oregon sports, dude.
Yep.
It's just a shame that Pritch ended up getting drafted so low because he never played in the tournament. Same thing. Well, it didn't really affect Sabrina. I guess you could say it affected her popularity, but she still went number 1, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
But
if Pritchard had that Jalen Brunson, DiVincenzo run in the Final Four that they had, like if he's able to make a tournament, make a run, he easily goes first round, like late first round, easy.
Absolutely. Easy. Yeah, but I like that point. I mean, as for other things in Boston, I guess you could say, I'd say the first 2 games got real ugly for Tatum. Inefficient games, but he follows it up with back-to-back 33, 11 plus rebounds, 5 plus assists. Shooting was whatever. I'll be the first to tell you, I don't care that much about efficiency in the playoffs. I really just don't. In the regular season, sure, but and if efficiency comes with it in the playoffs, great, but I really don't care. If my best player is unloading the clip, good. Because that eventually will draw double teams and get other people open. And because if that guy's being aggressive, you're going to have to take care of him. So
I'm going to let you know one thing, though. Peyton Pritchard, I'll let you and Chris guess. What did he shoot from three in this series versus the Cavs?
I'm going to go 53%.
Yeah, I'll say 48. I know it's high.
50% even. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's close.
Could you just imagine for a 5-game stretch, it is literally 50-50 if you can make a 3. That means you're hot. That truly means you're hot.
His 2 threes was free every day, and Sam Hauser's points rebounds was free. It was only at 4. Took it every day. Because all I had to do was make a 3 and make a layup. Literally.
Sam Hauser was only touching the hardwood if Sam Merrill was if he was coming up to the scorer's table. They said, "Yeah, get your ass in there." That's
He's making a 3 every time he got in.
Yo, I saw Sam Merrill. This dude had a parlay. It was and Merrill missed an open 3 at the end of the game. Yeah. It would have cashed out for
$20K.
A lot, $20K.
Yeah. I seen it. Nasty.
Yo, thank God. When we move on to the Thunder series, thank God the guy cashed out.
Oh my God. He should have did it with $100K. That's what.
One more thing I wanted to say about the Celtics was they're kind of lose-lose, I guess. Let's say they go on to win the finals. you're expected to win the finals, or they make the finals. You're expected to make the finals. Every team you're playing is injured, but if you don't, then you're frauds and you're a fake super team, or you're I don't know. You know how it goes. It's either you win, you should do it. If you don't win, well, you underperform. So they're kind of in a bit of a lose-lose, but I personally, I'll take this championship. However, we could get to the finals against the Denver Nuggets and Nikola Jokic. God forbid. I hope this doesn't happen. Bam, Achilles gone. Hey man, it is what it is. We getting this ring. Like I don't care at this point, because every ring in the history of basketball has had some type of injury along the way to help them prevail. So whatever. That's all I really got to say for them. I won't
So
let
are
them.
are the Nuggets the Chiefs
No, like
back to
Danny,
back,
hang up the comparison cleats, please. It's over.
back to back
It's over.
Nugs?
You're not good at it. You're not good at it. You need to retire. You've never made a good comparison in your life.
That's cap. I made good ones.
Name one good comparison you've had.
You think I keep them stored like a bank?
You should remember your makes, because there's very few of them.
I don't keep them stored.
Yeah, because you don't make any good ones. Let's move on to Pacers Knicks. Danny, I kind of want to go to you as the victim of Jalen Brunson. What's just your overall thoughts on the series, the physicality of it all? Do the Pacers have a chance to come back and just overall thoughts? What have you liked? What have you disliked?
Mr. Nemhart is proving how good he is. That's my biggest takeaway of the series is Mr. Nemhart of the Pacers is making his name known. Not many people really thought much of him throughout the whole NBA season. Thought he's just a role player. I think he's proven to be more like a third huge option on this team. Miles Turner sucks. That's another thing. If he was half of a player, then the Pacers could easily be up 3-2 right now.
I think he's the last guy you should be blaming. I mean, there's 2 games where Tyrese has scored under 10 points.
Oh no, I think Halliburton is very much to blame. I think Miles Turner just isn't good though.
Halliburton and Neesmith are the problem.
How about you respect Celtics legend Aaron Neesmith? Nah, I don't.
I could.
Slander him all you want, dude. You got it.
Neesmith is not good. Nemhart's him. You know about that. Chris knows all about Nemhart.
He's pretty baller. Yeah, it's. I mean, we look at the games in this series. I mean, Tyrese played phenomenal. Game 2 and Game 3. Game 4, he really didn't have to do much because they were up 30. But I mean, you have a 13-point game and a 6-point game. This is unacceptable. Like, I will not even look at another role player first, but it's just until we get through the discussion of him. I do agree with the Miles Turner thing. He had some stretches that kept him alive, but outside of that, nothing really. It's just Tyrese Halliburton. I'm extremely disappointed. I know you're past first.
The Pacers have my favorite.
Sorry, go ahead.
The Pacers have my favorite NBA player. Not really favorite.
TJ McConnell.
TJ McConnell. Everyone loves TJ McConnell.
Yeah, I will say one thing Aaron Neesmith is good for. He should be the only person getting Brunson coverage minutes, because he's the only one that seemingly is allowed to get physical with
Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah, because he's the only one on that team with the reputation of being a good defender. So the rest will let him be a little bit more physical with Jalen Brunson. Not that he's doing a good job, because who is doing a good job on Jalen Brunson these days? So I would say I agree with Danny and Andrew Nemhard giving everything he's got out there. TJ McConnell has been really good in his minutes. Tyrese Halliburton just simply, he has to be more aggressive. I don't know what the difference is from a game-to-game standpoint on when are you going to put up 20-plus shots, or when are you going to score 8 points, but I think he should look to score. He should look to score first, because you are legit, as much as good as he is in transition, they're kind of their best option in the half court, especially the way Pascal's been playing. So, yeah, that's just my thoughts. on that. I can swing it to Chris. Since we've been talking a lot about the Pacers, really, what have you liked from the Knicks? I mean, down OG, Brunson's had a foot injury. Mitchell Robinson's out for the year. Bojan's kind of just whatever. But yeah, just what have you liked from the Nova boys in this Knicks squad throughout this series and really the playoffs?
I love that Tom Thibodeau has taken it back to grassroots basketball. When you have one good player, you give that good player the ball to everybody else, play as hard as you can. And when you get the ball, make an open shot. I love that because he's not trying to magically run sets for McBride now or just get other people involved because people are hurt. No, we have our guy. He's going to carry us on one leg, fall off the bone. I don't care. And we're going to ride with that. And we're going to have everybody else play hard and shoot open shots. So that's what I like the most. I think that they've committed to what they are right now at this current space without Julius Randle, without the other guys. They committed to being a one-man show. And I think the support around them is because of that Nova Knicks, like the actual friendship and camaraderie that they have as a person. Because no matter what, nobody wants to watch somebody take 40 shots while you take 6, especially if it's no other people there. But they're doing it, and they're doing it because they're playing hard. They're still getting their shots. They're still getting everything else. So I just like how they've committed to what they have. I think they can make these conference finals. Now, they'll definitely get drugged by the Celtics when they make it, but it's better than seeing the Pacers there. And I think the one thing I have to say about the Pacers is I know people been killing Halliburton, me as well, but he's never been a scorer. So it's going to be hard for him to go get 25. He's just not built like that. Not saying he can't get 25 if he shoots a lot. He's not built like that. He's never been. He's always been a guy who's played pass ahead basketball, and I get my points in transition. And when the game slows down, that's what all the analysts were talking about. You can't get your points in transition like that. Those open threes won't be there. He doesn't really have like create space moves. He doesn't really have like dribble moves to get by people. So it's difficult for him to be in that space. And then when you're doing what the Knicks are doing, which is staying home, all the other guys and not helping, it's no space for him to really operate. So I think, like I said, they're missing Mathurin a lot. I said this before the season started, missing Mathurin a lot. Just a guy who can create, a bigger body who can create. I think they're missing it a lot. But yeah, I think they've done well enough for bringing Pascal over and stuff like that. I would want to see more from Pascal, honestly. They brought you in to be the playoff guy. Like when the playoffs came, for you to be able to do Tasmanian devil spins and get to the basket. You haven't done that. So I kind of look at that and look at that as more of an issue too.
Yeah, and one thing I want to clarify, I think we're all on the same page. We're like, this is a successful Indiana Pacers season. Young team, 6 seed, you got a playoff series win regardless of how it came. You gave the Knicks a run for their money, whether you end up winning the series or not. But it's the same thing with the Thunder. It's like you got here though. So like, and there are flaws clearly. It's not like, let's say the Pacers were playing the Celtics. It's like, all right, man, this is like, you just got washed. Like, there's nothing you could really do, but there's something you could do here. And y'all are just not taking advantage of it. So to go out that way is kind of disappointing, knowing you could do more. But I just want to clarify, we all do think still a really good season from them. If they end up losing the series, I don't want to count them out yet. They have won both of their home games so far. Game 6 is in Indiana, so it is still possible that they could force a Game 7 and maybe get the upset on the road. But after last game, I'm not too confident in them to bounce back, to be quite honest. But I like what
That's
you said
very
about
fair.
I like what you said about the Knicks, though. This Knicks team is just the 2016, 2017 Celtics all over again. You got your little lefty who, for whatever reason, this 6-foot guy can create an insurmountable amount of rim pressure, loves the mid-range, has revolutionized their three-point shot to where it's like not even service. It's elite. It's an elite three-point jumper. Jalen Brunson and Isaiah Thomas have drawn many comparisons. And then you have your surrounding dogs. You know, their Marcus Smart is like their Josh Hart. It's just Josh Hart's way better than that version of Marcus Smart. And then you have shooting bigs, and you know Kelly Olynyk. They had Al Horford, and while this Knicks team, they got Isaiah Hartenstein. They have OG obviously when he's healthy. They have obviously they have Dante as well. So I like what you said. It's really just one guy, and nobody else gonna feel bitter about it. They just gonna do their role. Especially Dante gets his highlights off of like other mishaps, I guess you could say, off steals, off for whatever reason. Dante has like a plethora of putbacks. That boy can get up. So, yeah, this series has been fun. I think a lot of people probably put this second to last best series. because probably a lot of people think Celtics Cavs was last, but yeah, just wanted to give this series its flowers. Um,
I agree. Chris, how do you feel about future Laker legend OG Anunoby?
I want nothing to do with that, and the reason why is I've been telling people OG's the most overrated 3-and-D person I've ever seen in my life. Like, bro, he shoots 8 threes, makes 2. His defense has been what it was in 4 years. It's just overrated. Now, I will say though, he's a great fit on this Knicks team though, because he can play heavy minutes. Well, I mean, he's hurt now, but he can usually play heavy minutes, and his production usually sustains. But I'm not a big OG Anunoby fan. I've never been. I never seen the idea of giving up 4 first-round picks for him when that was like a conversation. I thought that was asinine.
I agree. But he's definitely better than Rui and Vando.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah, I think OG maybe offensively is a little overrated because they were like, oh, he's the next Kawhi Leonard, and then the offense kind of like never came around like that. I mean, it's serviceable, like it's good. To him being the second scoring option to Brunson in a playoff series, you can get away with it if it's Indiana. Defense being overrated, I'll trust your word. I'll always trust your word when it comes to things like that. It's just whenever I turn on the game, OG Anunoby is just an absolute menace on the defensive end. And maybe it's just because I think like that, maybe it is overrated. I'm not sure. But
no, it is valid in a sense. It's just, and I think this is what it is. Like, they were making it like he's a lockdown Ron Artest. That's not the truth. But what OG is very active. And in the NBA today, with how much people play with the ball and dribble and do stuff they shouldn't do, he looks locked down because he's so active. His hands are active, and he has strong and fast hands. So I think he's a good defender. But I don't know if y'all remember, well, they were like, the Grizzlies were trying to get Anunoby. This was maybe like a year and a half ago, and they were like, the Raptors are asking for 4 first-round picks. Like, I thought that was insanity. Like, I thought that was crazy to even ask for that. And a young player, like, I thought it was crazy. But I guess for the right price, kind of like Tobias Harris. Like, if Tobias Harris was making $8 million instead of 30, he wouldn't look terrible. He would look like a decent role player. But instead, I think that's what kind of threw me off from him.
It ain't Tobias' fault that Daryl Morey's a dumbass, or whoever gave him the contract.
Was that Clippers time, or was it?
No, he got that extension with Philly. I think it might. I just don't know off the top of my head if it was Elton Brand or if it was Daryl Morey. I'm not sure, but whoever gave him the contract, bad person. Whoever is his agent, very smart person. But let's move on to Wolves Nuggets, because this is kind of like really the highlight of this episode. I mean, the Nuggets have completely flipped the script. After being down 0-2, losing both of your first 2 home games, they win 3 straight. Nikola Jokic kind of just reminds everybody that he is one of the best offensive players of all time, one of the best playmakers of all time, one of the most unstoppable post-scoring threats of all time. But as for the Wolves, I mean, it's hard to say what's really changed besides like they're just not hitting their open jumpers. And that I guess Jokic has gotten accustomed to Rudy Gobert, because through the first 2 games game 1 and game 3 where Rudy was guarding him, I would even say a little bit of game 4, like Rudy was doing fine. Like he was doing okay. He was holding him to under 50% from the field, which is pretty good with Jokic. Forcing him to try to, get the switch with Cat and all that. And he was playing a lot of roamer as well. Which left like Aaron Gordon open for jumpers, which Jaden McDaniels says like, no, maybe we got to guard up on that, because like the game plan was to just let him shoot, but now he's making them, so it's like, well, now we got to guard him. But then you see in game 5, then you guard Jokic 1-on-1, and there's not anybody in this league that can do that, because if Anthony Davis can't do it, then no one can do it. So that's just kind of the breakdown on basically how we got to that point. But I'll say we can go to Chris first. Just overall thoughts on the series. How can Minnesota win this game 6 to force the game 7? Is there anything you think they went away from that they got to get back to, or is it as simple as we just got to make our open jumpers because we're playing good defense? But just what do you think?
Yep. I think they just got to make shots, honestly. I think they played really well. Overall, just missing a lot of open shots. One thing I think they can do, obviously I'm not the coach, but I know a little bit about the sport. I think one thing they can do is stay bigger. with Nikhil Alexander Walker instead of Conley. Not saying start him, but like maybe make their minutes a little closer. 'Cause I think just the bigger body of Nikhil, it bothers Jamal Murray a little more. It's switchable when you switch with the Michael Porters of the world. So now you have McDaniels on the guard. It's just, I think, just gives more to the defensive versatility that they already have, and I think that'll be helpful, like in certain spots. But yeah, but other than that, I think he's got to make shots, and Ant-Man has to be better as well. 5 for 15. Not saying it's horrible, but it's not good. And he's the engine on offense. Did really get some going, so he can't go 5 for 15. But at the end of the day, bro, they're playing a Serbian madman who's made in a lab that only thing he can't do is jump. He can clearly do everything else. He was going high glass. He's been playing solid defense, and solid defense you have to on Rudy Gobert. It's just they're playing the MVP, the best player in the league. That's just point blank period. So they're gonna have problems. It's gonna have times where it look like they can't do anything. It's just everybody's run up into that when they play the Joker. So they just got to make open shots and maybe just try staying with bigger guys on the court. But I think that's about it.
Yeah, I like the name Joker for him. You know why? Because he literally doesn't care. He jokes around. He doesn't care about basketball. It's so funny because the best player in the world right now, like, doesn't care.
He cares about basketball.
I don't know, man.
I think he loves basketball. He absolutely loves basketball. But like the MVPs and all the individual shit, I don't think he cares. Like, he lost the Finals MVP trophy, but he was ecstatic to win the championship, though.
Dude, I think he cares more about like, I think his main priority in life is not basketball. I think it's probably horse betting and horse racing, whatever the hell it is.
It's not horse betting. He's not you, freak. He actually participates. That is horse racing champion Nikola Jokic to you, sir. No, I get what you mean. Basketball is 100% like the number, like, I guess outside of like family. Yeah, that's his number one priority. It's his moneymaker. He dedicates essentially a third or 2/3 of the year to it. It's number one priority.
I could see him retiring at like 34 just to go like relax.
Probably. I could see him being a guy who retires young.
He could legit play till he's like 40, 45 probably, just because the way he moves, he doesn't really like.
Yeah, super nimble, but at some point he's literally going to become a cone on defense.
He already is a cone on defense, so I don't know.
He's not that bad. He ain't that. He'll get attacked like once or 2 times in a series, and people are like, "Oh, look, we found it," and then it doesn't work again because Mike Malone is. I think what a lot of like. Jokic is the mastermind of the offense, but Mike Malone is really the one that gets that defense set. Like, Mike Malone has been a really good defensive coach for years now. It's just, you don't get your credit until, you win a championship. But yeah, I like what both of y'all said. Let's just talk about the Wolves for a second, though. This is what someone used to like to call the Tatum cycle. You do something cool, you become the darling, and then everyone turns on you like really fast. Not saying anyone's turned on the Wolves. I'm just saying maybe we shouldn't call a 22-year-old the next Michael Jordan, because that's extremely unfair. Just because he jumps out the gym and shoots mid-range every now and then, he's not Michael Jordan. I'll tell you, someone who plays a little bit more like Michael Jordan is SGA. He plays a lot more like Michael Jordan. He utilizes the mid-range more than anybody, and he's extremely efficient with it. Rare threes, obviously going to be a better shooter than Mike, but gets to the line. I think he plays a lot more like Mike than MJ, but, everybody's got to fantasize about how he looks like MJ, and he jumps like MJ, and we just need the next MJ, and our next MJ retired 8 years ago. So, I don't know. Just this is my thought. Like, Anthony Edwards is going to be a top 5 player in this league, no doubt. Probably top 2. But I think
over who?
Oh, it's just going to be Wemby than him.
I think Anthony Edwards is more
better than Luka?
More D-Wade than Michael Jordan.
He can be better than Luka at some point in his career. When Luka's like 32 and still 28, smack that middle of his prime? Yeah, he can be better than better to get. He can be better than your fucking sunshine, man.
Yeah,
if I can get better than mine, he'll be better than yours.
He just
Sorry,
don't
Chris.
got
What was
any.
that? I'm sorry.
No, I just saying he just don't. Luka just don't have much room to grow. Like the most he can do is shoot the three better and shoot free throws. But like outside, like just adding to his game, I think we've kind of seen what he's going to be, which is elite, obviously. But I think to Tone's point, I think Ant just has more he can add. Like first of all, patience, decision making, like shit like that. Like that's one thing Ant that can take him from being 26 point per game score to 30 because he'll get the free throw line more, blah, blah, blah. I think Luka's like kind of not at his peak, but like I don't know what you can add to him, like to make him any
Yeah,
better.
I remember Luka's rookie year. People were saying like he's gonna not cap out in a bad way, but like he's gonna reach his peak very fast.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna get used to it, which is kind of what we're at with this 24, 25-year-old kid. With Ant, I'm not saying that Ant's peak will be higher than Luka's peak. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying there's gonna be a point in time where he'll be a top 3 player along with Wemby and Cooper Flag or whatever. It's just going to be like a next gen thing. It's nothing against Luka. He's going to be better than Ant, way longer than Ant will be better than him. It's just going to be like an age thing. But it's just like a six games from between the first four, the Sun series into the first 2 games of this series. It was just like utter chaos of like, oh, he's already a top 5 player, and he's better than Tatum, and he's better than Shea, and he's better than Luka, and he's better than this guy. He's better than LeBron, AD, Booker, and Booker may be a conversation. I don't know. I'm not entertaining that, but I don't know. People would just they put 6 games versus years of playoff experience and pedigree and winning. So I don't know. I don't know. That's just me. It just don't prop up somebody too fast. Don't overreact. Let somebody prove it a little first. Especially after the regular season he had, shot below league average from the field. I think he only averaged, I don't want to say only, but I think he averaged like 25 points per game. That's not the upper echelon of guys. Even in terms of scoring, Luka was 34, Embiid was 34, Giannis was 30, Shea was 30. Tatum, when he didn't have to share the ball with 4 other All-Stars, was a 30-point per game guy. But
Did y'all know Jokic has a shoe deal with the same company Aaron Gordon does, 361?
Really?
Jokic has a shoe
I
deal?
know it's really random, but yeah, if you ever look at him and Aaron Gordon all the time have on the same shoe. It'll be a different color, but it'll be the same shoe. So Aaron Gordon has his own shoe with 361. So Nikola Jokic was wearing his shoe last year and into this year, but now Jokic has his own shoe coming out. It'll be out probably like right after the finals and stuff. But their first line is like a SpongeBob collection. So it's just funny that a lot of people didn't know that he was signed to the same brand as Aaron Gordon.
Nope, that's from the black market, and the shoes have Mind Connection chips in them, and that's why they're able to do those cool lob passes.
I knew it. I'm gonna see if Brian and AD want a pair because some got
Sure,
to
we
work.
don't need them reading each other's mind. We might never see the light of day. They might just win it all. But hey, let's move on to Thunder's Mavs because I actually do have one more topic I want to talk about after that. Thunder's Mavs. So Danny, while maybe behind us in terms of that other series, because he's the only one that picked Wolves, he is ahead of us here. He's the only one that picked Mavs. Danny, what if? Let me ask you something. Outside of Luka, I know that's your honey bun sugar plum. What have you seen from the Mavericks role players? Like
PJ
what have
Washington.
you seen from those guys?
Mr. Washington has stepped up his game. I believe it was game 3, game 4. He dropped, 26, 27, something like that?
I think he had 2 games like that, actually.
Yeah, maybe both. He stepped it up huge. And I think people don't know this. I think Luka's a lot more hurt than he really is. I think Luka's playing through injury. He's playing through, what was that? Ankle injury? Or knee injury or something like that? Yeah.
knee.
I think he just has a sore knee, banged up. But he is distributing better than I think ever. Like the way he's getting some of these passes, that he's getting completely wide open looks to these role players in the corner.
Last night he threw a 3/4 court lob, and then he threw another lob to Derrick Jones, where it was literally like a hook shot. Like it was literally like a hook pass from 3-point line, and Derrick Jones, he's gonna get it from anywhere.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like at some point we have to look at Luka and be like, Yeah, you're just distributing really, really well. And Kyrie hasn't taken over. Kyrie hasn't done much this series. Uh, can we blame anyone for like the role players around Luka and Kyrie have stepped it up to the point where Luka and Kyrie aren't doing what they usually do during the regular season, and they're still up 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's scary what their potential is, because if these role players continue to play this way and Luka and Kyrie elevate their game, the sky is the limit here. And fortunately for that for that Thunder better, that he cashed out after Game 4.
Yes. I want to go with Chris, and we're going to talk about the Thunder a little bit, because last week Chris said, for anybody, he said there's going to be big Aaron Wiggins series. Going to see a lot of Isaiah Joe, but he also said it's going to be the J-Dub series, and it's been anything but. Where do you think, is there anything like, because to be quite honest, the only adjustment that Mark Dagnall has really made is like taking Giddey out of the starting lineup. Is there any other adjustments that he can do to help his team, like at this point, or is it kind of just like, I don't know, like make your shot? Like, what can they still do to get back in the series?
Wait till the offseason to finally get somebody over 7 feet that can come off the bench and do something. Honestly, it's just I was banking on the J-Dub series because I feel like this could be a big coming out party for him, as far as like, just introducing himself to like league casual people who don't get a chance to watch the Thunder on League Pass and stuff like that. But I think what it showed is just a glaring weakness in his game. It's just his shooting isn't as consistent as it needs to be, to where they have to respect him as much as you would want to give Shea the space he needs to operate, and to give Chet the space he needs to operate. So I think that's been a big deal. And I think they're understanding now that, and Presti does not do a lot of things wrong. I think he's one of the greatest GMs I've ever, in my 30 years of being alive. He should have did those 2 second round picks for Drummond. They just have to be bigger. They have to have a chance to go to the bench. And Jalen Williams has been doing solid. He's been way better than I expected him to be. I didn't expect much from him. But Gafford and Live they're controlling the boards. PJ is helping control the boards. Luka already is one of the best rebounding guards in the league. So they just don't get a chance for second opportunity points. And I was telling my girl, I'm like, bro, if a team gets to shoot 4 times to your 1, they got a better chance of beating you just because they get more opportunities. And that's just what's happening. They just they don't have the size right now. And I think one thing Dagnall did that was cool to see, he tried Chet at the 4 with Jalen Williams in, but Jalen Williams is still only 6'9". Like, not only like that, but like he's 6'9". So it's like, it's not like you're going really double big. You're kind of just going like Tatum and not even Porzingis height. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to that. So I think it's just they need more size. They need more scoring off the bench. And just Wiggins and J-Dub haven't done what they need to do as wings in this series to be able to outplay Green, Hardy, and Hardaway, which shouldn't have been difficult, but here we are, and they just haven't done it. Derrick Jones Jr., Chester native, my guy Derrick Jones Jr., who I love, by the way, has been dogging. And honestly, I think he's playing for a contract next year, whether it's with the Mavs or with somebody else. He's getting up off that 1 year, that deal he's on. So just cool to see that. And I think they need more athleticism in the starting 5 too.
Future 76er right here.
Unfortunately not. He'll be back with the Mavs on
Derrick Jones.
Yeah, he'll be unfortunately.
I would love Derrick Jones in the Sixers. I know everyone would be repping his jersey.
But yeah, I think that's what they need to do. They don't have enough shooting and enough size. And I think that's just what it is. They just don't have enough shooting, enough size. And I don't think it's nothing they can do in this series because they just have to get more shooting and more size. Simple as that. And Gordon Hayward was a waste of time. If you're going to take on $30 million, you could have done it in way better ways than that. That wasn't it. They had the same trade for Gafford and PJ.
George doing?
They had the same trade for Gafford and PJ, by the way, that the Mavs did. They just declined to do it. So maybe this shows that they probably could have made that deal instead of getting Gordon Hayward to play 7 minutes total in the series.
Yeah. Should have seen what's the availability on Clint Capella. That's what you really should have done.
Should be cheap. Should
have been real cheap. What's the availability on
Mitchell Robinson? Don't move forward with Hardenstein.
Isaiah Hartenstein gonna get paid somewhere.
He is.
He goes
somewhere. If I'm a Knicks, I'm doing it. I'm doing it if I'm a Knicks because the offense rebounding.
They gotta pay him or OG.
Yeah, I would choose Hardenstein only because you already have Hart And I think you can just slide Hart to the 3 right there. And of course, you can use Mitchell Robinson, but Hardenstein's
And you
offensive
still got
rebound
Julius
ability.
Randle in the tuck. People forget.
Agreed. So yeah, then that is a difficult decision. I forget about Julius Randle sometimes. That is
Well, we're lucky we don't make those decisions. So yeah, very, very lucky we don't make those decisions. Just got a notification. Mike Conley will be playing in tonight's must-win, dealing with an Achilles injury. Hope that doesn't go poorly for him, or it's a calf injury, but hope that doesn't go well. I hope that does go well for him because he is older. So, but we'll see about that. As for Thunder's Mavs, Danny, let me put you on the spot. If you're really a Derrick Jones Jr. lover, what college did he go to?
UNLV. Lost. Come on, man. And
right,
you know what? I'll tell you one more thing. He got suspended at UNLV because his grades didn't come through or something with his SAT score. So,
yep.
Yeah.
It was BS. It was BS.
And it was BS.
Typical Chai student.
So yeah, come on, man. I know all about it.
All right,
and on top of that, Danny and Tone, a lot of people don't know this. So for my viewers, this is showing my age. On Ball is Life, right? Derrick Jones has probably the best highlight that you're ever going to see. When jumped body to body and he literally threw it in from like 8 feet from the rim. The top 10 basketball highlight I've ever seen, including Julius Erving, including all that stuff. I've never seen a person do that. His back was straight, but his arms was forward and the rim was like 4 feet away. And he had the nerve to dunk on the person. Right. Elite athlete, by the way.
I remember Reggie Miller said the best dunker you've never heard of.
Literally. And that was the best.
And that first time he lost because, hey, lights was too bright. Second time around, we got ours, though.
Still cleanest 3-6 between the legs, by the way, I've ever seen. Cleanest one.
He's just gross. Like him and Zach LaVine are probably like the two smoothest dunkers I've ever seen. They make it just look so easy.
Yeah, and when we were at the game, the Pacers Mavs. This was right before the season ended. And we were watching them warm up. Like, bro, he was doing crazy stuff. Like after his like you do like a session, you shooting a spot maybe 6 times. Like he in the session with some crazy dunk. Like the last one he ended, he was at the 3-point line. He threw it overhanded off the backboard and did like that little spinning 360 dunk. Like did it with ease. I'm like, bro, this dude, he's a super athlete, and I think that's what Mark Cuban has to get credit for too. Putting athletes and defenders around Luka and Kyrie. That's been probably the best in-season move in the past 3-4 years, honestly, including the Dame, including the KD, including all those things that's happened. Not Dame, including KD. I think that's one of the bigger ones. I think they have enough to compete for a championship. They literally have enough.
Derrick Jones has fought his way into being an NBA player.
Derrick Jones versus Aaron Gordon Jr. Aaron Gordon. I want to see it.
They've probably been the best 2 role players in this year's playoffs. Derek White's also in the mix, of course.
Josh Hart too.
Josh Hart. I would probably say, those would probably be my top 4. Naz Reid's obviously in the mix.
Yo, I'll tell you one thing. Like, he just jumps out the gym, dude. Like,
no one does it like him, man.
And it's so fast, dude. It's so fast.
Luka just throws that thing and he just goes up. Smack.
Yeah, because like as good as a lob defender that Chet is, you aren't jumping as high as this dude. So like it's easier with Gafford and Lively, but
Lively jumps out the gym too. Lively jumps so high off 2 feet.
I'm pretty sure he put his nuts on Chet's head yesterday.
Actually, from that was the half court oop.
I don't think it was a half court. I think it might have been a putback. I don't know, but he like really hung on Chet's like neck.
It was that one where Luke was in the lane. He threw it up hella high.
Second half, yep.
Yes,
it was in the second half. Yeah, that was crazy. Chet hasn't necessarily been that great this series either, but he hasn't been like a detriment. So I don't want to hate on the kid. So
Mavs have a cheat code too, by the way. One of their player development coaches is Tyson Chandler. Who better to help Gafford and Lively than literally their clone, Tyson Chandler? So
literally. Yeah, and then who better to mentor your guards than God
Sham? Are you kidding? Wait, no, you have God Sham. If Jaden Hardy isn't in 3 years one of the best, like just ball knower scores, 9 points a game, but it's real nice, he's done a disservice. He has Kyrie and Sham God over there. You better figure it out.
Yeah, at that point it's your fault. I wonder if Sham God and Kyrie, they play horse but with handles.
Yo,
I'll be there. Sign me up. I'll buy tickets.
Like, I know he's got something. I know he's got a next level to the Sham God. Like, what would you do next after the Sham God? Like, I have no clue.
Did you teach Tony Roden to do that? What Tony Roden did? Did you teach him that? God Sham God? You teach him that?
It's just, and I don't want to like kill on the kids who like this guy on Twitter is like, that's the greatest name I've ever seen. And it's like, you don't know who God Shem God is? I'm like, dude, don't kill him. Like, some people just don't know. Like, that's
And
fine.
it's okay. It's okay.
Like, I knew what the Sham God was before I knew who God Sham God was.
And you should.
Everyone has, unless you're from
Literally.
like New York and you're a freak. But
Literally, and I think one thing too, and this is one thing I say about the WNBA fans, I don't like the fans who've been around for a long time, like kind of like shitting on like the new fans, like, all right, you don't know who Asia Wilson is. Like, no, bro, but this is going to help grow the league. This is why they're getting to know them. So just be easy on them. You're gonna turn people away. Everybody wants to be an expert when people are new. So I don't think that's fair. You gotta let people. Some people are coming in because of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Beautiful. If you want to really help grow the game, and that's what they're doing. So I think people gotta like ease up on that.
yeah, and I say there's like a part of the WNBA fandom that like wants Clark to be bad, just
Weird.
to prove that their league is like tougher. I'm like,
Weird.
she can be good, but you can see it in her play style that your league is tougher. She is settling for a lot more threes that she normally wouldn't than her senior year in Iowa. We
Getting
know
a pocket pick, like, bro, that didn't happen in Iowa. Like,
exactly, she had 10 turnovers. Like, I promise you, she can put up an efficient 25 and still prove the point that this league is tough.
difficult.
Because as good as she is, like, as good as she is shooting the ball, she might at some point be the most electric player in the WNBA. I don't know if I can ever see her having a ceiling higher than Asia Wilson.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can see her having a ceiling higher than Brianna Stewart. It's possible, but like, I don't know. Two things can coexist. This league rocks. Caitlin Clark rocks. Angel Reese. Very rough first half, but we bounce back.
Very rough.
We bounce back, though. We do bounce back. Anyway, let's talk about other soon-to-be rookies. Bronny James had his NBA Combine scrimmages, and the second day of them, he had a team-high 13 points, shooting 4 for 10 from the field. Obviously looked a lot more aggressive. But what I really want to talk about is some of his quotes post-game. You know, talking about, like, I want to be my own man. I want people to draft me for me. He actually even said, like, he never dreamt of playing with his dad. The goal is just really to make the NBA. But what he really said is what everyone's just been thinking the whole time. He was like, I want to be like Drew Holiday. I want to be like Derek White. I want to be like Davion Mitchell. And that leads me to the point that Brad Stevens, let's stop sitting on all those second round picks, man. Let's trade up into this top 20. Let's go get the boy, because you do that, then you get LeBron.
You already know who got pick 22.
We're trading ahead of that.
Dallas Mavericks will be picking Bronny James, and LeBron James will be making his debut as a Dallas Maverick. And I think Danny did mention that months ago. He definitely said that. He definitely said that. So now, since it seems to be possible, I will let y'all know if LeBron James comes to the Mavericks, and I'm
You're a Mavericks fan for life.
Oh, for 2 years, especially. I'll even go. I'll get I'm not getting a Mavs LeBron jersey. I'm not doing that.
I'm getting the Luka jersey next year.
I was gonna buy a Kyrie jersey at the game, but they didn't have the black one with the blue Mavs right, and so I just got a t-shirt.
People used to hate on that one. People hated on that one when it came out. That was fire.
I thought it was so fire. I thought it was so fire.
People just be hating. But yeah, with Bronny, I think I'm not a big person of like combine to like do really that much for your draft stock. But Skip Bayless actually kind of hit the nail on the hammer. He's a NBA spacing player. He can't play in college space. So he gets into a NBA spacing scenery. Look how he looks when he's aggressive. So in just a quick scrimmage. So I think a lot of teams might start to up his stock a little bit. I really think so. They're going to start to see he's at least a playable player and not some bum for whatever reason. Bums don't go D1. Bums don't get real minutes on D1 teams, especially after having a heart attack.
And on top of that, bro, this is one thing I think people have to realize. USC ran a 3-guard offense. So it's not much space for him to do anything, as Tone said, but also he's guarding forwards. So you're not really seeing the defensive potential as good as it is because he's guarding 6'6", 6'7" guys. Because they started Collier, Ellis, and when Bronny came in, they played a lot of 3-guard sets, which is nothing wrong with that. But the NBA, you're not doing that. In the NBA, Can Bronny James do what Javon Carter does? 1,000%. And I'm not shitting on Javon Carter. Javon Carter's great, is solid in NBA.
Chicago legend, man. Don't say that.
Exactly. So can Bronny James do that? Can Bronny James come and be a backup point guard on the team? Yes. I'm not expecting him to be LeBron. I think that's why people are so happy to say he's trash, because he's obviously not his dad. So it's like, oh well, he's garbage. He's not this and that. But it's like, can he be a role player in the NBA? Yes. I've said for months this is a role player draft.
Yeah. I'll say one thing. I think one kid that's not a role player, I think this kid can like be a legit star in this league, is a guy you just said, Isaiah Collier. I think, and like you said, it's like the spacing at USC is horrible. Everybody's playing out of position. And then if you look at his back half of the season, the shooting split started to come together. I think he's got it. And in a draft like this, if you're one of those top teams and like you're still really bad, draft him just for the potential. Like, he's so good. I think he has that same Scoot Henderson vibe to him, but he's a better shooter. He's a better shooter than Scoot.
He's a top 3 guard in his class for real. He is.
Yeah.
It's Collier, Dillingham, Shepard. Those are the top 3 guards in this class. And
yes.
Depending on it's either Reed or Topic too. Nikola Topic is a name y'all gonna hear a lot more as like draft comes up. Him and Zachary Rees-Sachet, and Rees-Sachet's playing right now actually. But Rees-Sachet and Topic are 2 guys you're gonna hear about. But I think Topic has that ability to be either really terrible or Luka Doncic light. Like it's that far away. But he has some talent too. I think you'll see that name a lot too.
Yep.
Agree. I'm not gonna lie to you. You guys got to hear me out on this one. Alexander Sarr is the guy of the draft.
Yeah, I was just about to say he's probably going to become this consensus number 1 overall.
He's going to go 1, I'm sure.
I think he needs to be. I think he's going to be a star in this league. I think
he could be. Yes.
Like, I think if he goes to Atlanta and Trae Young stays in Atlanta, I think if he goes to Atlanta, Trae Young can stay in Atlanta, and you could build around them too.
Moni's scary with that, Danny, is that they did that. They picked Okongwu at 6, and they haven't developed him at all. So my only thing is, can Atlanta even develop players? That's my
Okongwu sucks. Okongwu sucks.
Watch that mouth.
You think so? You think so?
I don't think he sucks.
I don't think he's great, but I don't think. I just think that he could be a lot better on the strength of if he's at a place to develop players. Like nobody on the Hawks has got AJ Griffin, Hunter, Cam Reddish, all those wings and stuff they've gotten. Nobody's gotten better. Only Jalen Johnson's gotten better, and that's just, I feel like this is on his own. So that's the only thing that scares me about Sarr.
Product of Trae.
The Hawks. They just have to develop him. I think he's raw, but like you said, Danny, he has some of those tools where it's like, bro, he can defend. He showed that he can kind of shoot a little bit. He's agile. Like, he can definitely be really good. It's just I just hope he goes to a place where, well, if the Hawks can get him, that can develop him.
I personally think the Hawks should just blow it up. You got this first pick. It's a sign from God. Go trade. Look, bro, trade Trae or DeJounte back to the Spurs in exchange for that 4th or 8th pick. Then you'll get Alexander Sarr. That's going to be your guy going forward. And then with the 4th, probably the 8th pick. I don't think they're giving up the 4th pick, but the 8th pick, then it's like, you get one of these high-end role players that's all throughout this draft. If Collier drops all the way to that point, bam, then you got your guard, you got your big, and we move. But yeah,
you ready for Isaiah Collier to be a Sixer?
That ain't happening. What are y'all even gonna do with that?
He run the 2.
He's not falling to you guys. What pick do you have?
16.
Yeah, he's not falling to y'all.
You know what?
And him running the 2 for y'all, isn't he a little undersized for that?
I think
6'4".
Damn. Actually, no. Run him at the point. He's probably projects to be a better playmaker than Maxey.
Yeah, I think for
Maxey
y'all,
the 2 though.
That's his.
Maxey is the 2. He's not really a point. He's a 2 for real.
I understand he's a 2 as a scorer, but he's you have to get like
he's a 2 as in he can't fucking play make like a 1.
That's why I think Lowry was good for y'all, Danny.
As a 3, we would need a 6'10" 3 if we're playing a 6'4" and a 6'4".
Just have a normal small forward.
You don't think Oubre could do it with y'all with a small backcourt, Danny? You don't think so?
We would need we need to start like a big 4. We need marketing if that's the case.
Oh, I see where you're going. I see where you're going. But I think with y'all, it's a couple people in the draft I'm looking at for y'all, Danny, because I've been saying this, like I said, I think it's a role player draft. So I've been looking like for the good teams, like what they can pick up. It's a couple, like if you want a bigger wing or a bigger swing, the Grant Nelsons of the world, it's a lot of people that's going to be available right outside that lottery where y'all at. It's going to be a lot of 6'8", 6'9" switchable wings available. A lot.
Hot take. I really love. I love what's his name. I love
what school?
The center from UConn.
Oh, Klingon.
I love Klingon. I love Klingon to the Sixers, and I like Filipowski from Duke. I think the Sixers can pick them up as backup centers.
Danny. Trust me, as a Duke guy, take him off. He is going to be
Charmin. That boy is Charmin.
Now, but keep clinging. Put Phil.
Yeah, for sure.
Take Filipowski to the Philippines. That's where he can play.
Clinging, his draft stock rose, and rightfully so. Filipowski went out sad. And rightfully so.
They were hating on your boy Paul Reed. They were saying he's not a basketball, not a starter, not even an NBA player. They were saying that like right after, because they was like, with Embiid out, you have to go to your backups. And I don't think Paul Reed's an NBA center. I'm like, I hope they didn't hear that. I know he ready to hurt.
Paul Reed's good. Paul Reed's a solid player.
Chicago kid.
Paul Reed is like damn near unplayable if Embiid's not on the floor, and you really don't want to play them together. So it's tough, man. It's tough, but I'm pretty sure that's all we got for today. Sorry, just give me 1 second. All right. Well, again, do y'all have anything to say before we get on out of here?
So we have a really exciting guest coming on next week, Taylor Jenkins. We'll be doing some promos for that. We'll be getting some questions. I'm gonna link a Google Doc to the page. You guys can put some questions down if you want to ask him out. So get the audience asking some questions. Me, Chris, and Tone will get some questions primed up for Coach Jenkins. I'm excited though.
Yeah. So yeah. Before we get on out of here, I just want to remind y'all, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, that's what you're supposed to do. If you're on the audio platforms, make sure you leave a 5-star like and review. And please tune into our episode next week on Wednesday as we talk to the Memphis Grizzlies head coach, Taylor Jenkins. And from AP New Freezer, Culture by Migos, and DC Comics. Thank you guys for tuning in, and you better tune in next week.
You better.
Tuesday.